So, anyone who's been paying attention for the last few months has been seeing headlines like this, especially in education. The thesis has been students are going to be using ChatGPT and other forms of AI to cheat, do their assignments, they're not going to learn, and it's going to completely undermine education as we know it. Now, what I'm going to argue today is not only are there ways to mitigate all of that, if we put the right guardrails, we do the right things, we can mitigate it, but I think we're at the cusp of using AI for probably the biggest positive transformation that education has ever seen. And the way we're going to do that is by giving every student on the planet an artificially intelligent but amazing personal tutor, and we're going to give every teacher on the planet an amazing artificially intelligent teaching assistant.
I like the idea, but I feel like Sal Khan is far too positive about ChatGPT. He really, really preaches the wonders of ChatGPT, but as we know, those of us who've actually used it, is incredibly politically biased, and it won't cover certain topics, and the art is incredibly biased as well when you want to do that, because it's enforced by ridiculous DEI standards. So I would like to believe in the inspirational talk that Khan has given here, but I can't take it too seriously as of yet. So far, I've liked Grok, even though it has a ridiculous name. It seems like it's a little less biased on X than ChatGPT, and Gemini AI has been awful as well. They just didn't allow you to ask any questions on politicians for a while because so many people called them out for political bias. But it says here, can AI save education? Sal Khan asks and answers. And he's quite positive about how it's going to positively change everything. I don't think it's going to lead to some dystopian future or whatever. But it says here, technology in all its human history has always amplified human intent. AI is no different. Are we going to say, let's also use it to amplify positive intent? Khan said to a packed Shanahan auditorium. In many ways, the educational lane in AI is the most poetic one because we have a shot of using artificial intelligence to improve human purpose and human intelligence. It says AI won't destroy it, it'll save it. Was discussed this year, blah, blah, blah. The previous theme dealt more with existential questions of what is a human person as different from an artificial intelligence entity. That's a grand philosophical topic, Thompson said. So we found what if we focused on the specific questions of AI and learning, because the conversation shows up a lot on faculty and student minds. And as a teacher myself, I would not like getting material where people had just used ChatGPT to write a paper, and at this point, it's quite obvious when they are. I've used it thousands of times, so AI writing is more obvious to me now because I've used it quite a lot myself. But I could definitely see people still using it as a service to help them with projects, possibly to look up information. But the problem is it's a text generator; it's not actually thinking. So it will sometimes invent information. There's been a number of stories in the news in relation to this where it invented cases for lawyers and so on, and that's become a major problem. It's scary to me that Bill Gates uses it for his scientific research. My goodness, it's wrong all the time. That guy's not well informed on scientific topics, it seems. And that's not his expertise. But it says here, my cousins infamously told me they liked me better on YouTube than in person. Well, that's kind of brutal, Khan's cousins. The human element only grew when I was able to leverage technology, Khan said. If I had to pick between amazing teacher, no technology, or amazing technology, no teacher, I would pick amazing teacher, no technology every time. But I think we're in a world where we can have the best of both worlds. I think it's going to be a massive connectivity tool. AI will be able to provide more transparent and consistent grading. I don't agree with that at all. Or even hold us humans accountable as we grade things on our own biases, Khan said. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think that it will be better at grading. It can look for some grammatical mistakes, but since it's not thinking, it's just a text generator, I don't think it will be that great. But the AI will improve over time, so it could be good in that way. It says here, learning is hard. If it can make the person more excited about learning, if they can feel connected to the learning, I'm all for it, Khan said. A lot of the billion-dollar companies that are putting out AIs, I don't feel like they're putting that energy to give any personality. If you're careful, it has so much opportunity. Well, as far as personality goes, the humorous version of Grok on X definitely has a personality, and it can be amusing. It was interesting to get a view that was not as cynical as I expected it to be. Now we have the inevitability of AI. And what are we going to do with that? Nathani, I don't know, said, I think it provokes as many questions as answers. It was also one of my heroes, so it was really amazing to see. Okay. 70% of college students don't place in algebra. There's a teacher shortage right now. So I'm always on the side of what if we could put more resources into education that are used? Yeah, there's a teacher shortage. Quite a lot of people don't want to go into education these days, mainly because of the political bias. But if we could dramatically reduce class size, I'm telling you, things would improve a lot. School choice is the solution. Tamping down on teachers' unions is another solution. Getting rid of the Department of Education is another solution. And getting rid of a large amount of useless administrators is another solution that we need to implement. Because if we get rid of them, we'll have more money to hire more teachers and pay them higher wages, and we can have smaller class sizes. If you have class sizes under, say, 12 students, you can make subject matter that's directly appealing to them. You know, you could, if someone has an interest in cats, you could teach them biology, based around cats and things like that, especially in the younger grades. That would be quite useful. They're interested in dinosaurs. Well, let's teach them about, how geography affected dinosaurs back in the day or something like that. And you could make it a heck of a lot more interesting and topics that they might not be interested in normally. So tailoring the information to the student would be far more effective, but you can only do that with very small class sizes, and the education system has not had any improvement than that in 50 years. The Department of Education has made no effort whatsoever because they're more about control, command and control, than they are about improving the lives of students.